everyone's going through something, you know, whether they discuss it and talk about it or not. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you are not new, welcome back, girl. How you doing? Definitely be sure to subscribe if you have not already. I see my analytics and the numbers don't lie. Like half of y'all who watch my videos are subscribed, and the other half who watch my videos are not subscribed. So you're already here, just go ahead and subscribe. Like that would mean a lot to me personally, because yeah, I would like to keep growing my channel here on YouTube. So definitely if you do enjoy my content and you find yourself kind of like clicking on my videos, definitely be sure to subscribe and join my little community here on YouTube. Today's video is not gonna be like super formal. It's really just informal, just me coming here, catching up with y'all and just having a little bit of like chit chat. I will say, like, if you follow me on Instagram, then you would know I posted probably like a week and a half ago that I was not gonna be posting that week on YouTube because I just really was tired and I was, you know, trying to give myself the rest that I felt like I needed. Being on YouTube, it's so easy to feel like you have to always post like maybe once a week or twice a week. And I know some people post like 3 times a week or every day. I'm really in a place of trying to figure out my needs and what works best for me, not what works best for so-and-so or, you know, a certain formula to social media growth, but really what works for me. And like people who rock with me, people who are interested will watch my videos. I don't have to like be posting all the time. So yeah, I'm trying to find that balance for myself with what I actually want to produce as far as my content goes, and not feel pressured to just push stuff out just for the sake of it, you know, because I always want my content to be genuine. I want it to be meaningful. Or if it's not like super meaningful, I want it to at least be something that I'm interested in. So like it is kind of a lot of pressure to feel like I have to post all the time. You know, especially being in the middle of this pandemic, I have to be able to give myself some time to breathe and some time to rest. So yeah, that's why I didn't post a video last week. And I really wasn't planning to post a video today, but I was just talking to Corey and I'm just like, I don't have anything really deep to share, you know, and a lot of y'all come here for like my faith and, you know, my Christian walk and, you know, all that different stuff, but like, I really don't. But there are things that I would like to talk about. So if you do want a little bit of girl talk, then just stick around. I know that some of y'all are gonna ask, so I did a braid out on my hair, and honestly, this is not how my hair looks after just braiding it after washing it. Like this is like a week of rebraiding it every few days, and what I have found is like the first day that I braid my hair and unbraid it, it just doesn't look like this. It doesn't really look stretched. But the more that I rebraid it and apply product but not necessarily water, it does stretch and it kind of looks like a little vibe or whatever. So yeah, this is like a week old braid out. But yeah, so like when I was just telling you guys about, you know, how I was feeling last week and how I didn't have a whole lot of energy, you know, what I have found about myself over the years, and this is something that I have not shared on social media just because I felt like, you know, I feel like I am just not, I'm a very private person, okay? So it's definitely always a balance of like, how much do I share? How much detail do I go into? Because I'm a private person. I appreciate privacy. I respect having some things to myself. And I don't think that everything is intended for consumption of people, you know? Like some things should be kept to yourself, or at least that's how I feel. Some things should be kept to myself. So I never really spoke about this specific area, but if you followed me last week, I had like no energy. So I was just telling y'all, like, I'm tired. Like I don't have it. I don't have it. So now it's a new week and I have had so much energy, and I feel like it really has to do with my hormones. And I don't really talk about it because I have not found a solution to it yet. But yeah, if you watched like a chit chat get ready with me, I posted a couple months ago, I did mention to you guys that I was gonna be going to a naturopath, like a natural health clinic. And I went there, and because I was feeling so exhausted and so drained, I was wondering like, do I have a hormone imbalance? Like, is there something going on there, you know? So I went there to get my blood work done, and I specifically told them I wanted my hormones tested. So after I got my results back, she never tested my hormones. She just tested like general blood levels and general blood work, and everything came back normal. But when I first went there, she was telling me like I should eat more red meat. I'm iron deficient. She can just tell by like looking in my eyes type stuff. And it's like, I'm not trying to, look, to each his own, okay? And I have been eating more red meat because I listened to her. But all in all, like when I actually got the results back, I really was not iron deficient. She just thought I was. So, you know, she was telling me that like I have adrenal fatigue and I'm a little bit overworked. And I could see that. So I'm like, okay, maybe I am burnt out. Maybe I need to chill out a little bit. But in reality, that's not what was indicative from my results from my blood work. So I went to that clinic, ended up getting blood work and recommendations, and ultimately I didn't get what I asked for. I want to know specifically about my hormones, and she didn't help me with that. So that was right before all of COVID broke loose. So now it's like, I'm not going to nobody's doctor, not happening, it's not worth it, I can chill. But like I do notice that like in a certain part of my cycle, and I'm assuming we're all girls here, like before my period, I have nothing. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, very irritable, like just not in a good mood, like anxious, you know, kind of down. And it's not every single time, but sometimes that happens, and it will be during that time of the month. And it's challenging because I've gone to doctors and I've told them like, hey, you know, I'm really struggling with PMS. Like my moodiness is really bad. You know, I'm really struggling. And they're like, oh, it's fine. It's normal, you know. So at a young age, they recommended I get on birth control solely to help with my moods and, you know, whatever. And what I have found is birth control is not the solution. Birth control is a little bit of a band-aid, you know, at least for me. So like, it didn't help. You know, they never tested my hormones. They never could tell me what the situation is. And I've been in counseling for almost 2 years now. Like, I mean, every single week. So like overall, my anxiety and anything like that has gotten so much better, but I still find that right before my period, I'm really struggle with my emotions, and it's hard. And I feel like I don't want to deal with it. So regular doctors have been no help to me personally. Going to a natural doctor, she really didn't listen to me and just pushed her own agenda, made me buy all these like natural supplements. Like going back, like in hindsight, I should have never bought it because they were super expensive. But yeah, so now I'm just like, dang, like, what am I gonna do? Because every month I really do struggle. I don't want to be on hormonal birth control. These are my personal sentiments, okay? I'm not telling y'all what y'all should do. But for me, I don't want to be on, you know, hormonal birth control. I don't want to be struggling in my cycle, but I know that there's something that I can do that can help, and I'm not really sure what it is because I'm not a doctor, right? What I have learned is that a lot of doctors are not educated in this area. They don't really learn a whole lot about PMS. They don't really learn a whole lot about the woman's cycle, and it's a struggle. So I've been looking for answers. The holistic route, the specific practitioner that I went to was not helpful. And I say all this to say, sometimes I really don't have what it takes to come here and film a video because I always want to give my best here on my channel, and I don't want to come with like half energy or, you know, not feeling well, you know, like I want to be my best self. So, you know, this is the week after my period where I tend to have the most energy, and yeah, I didn't know what to talk about because when it comes to things of the faith, it can't really be like God has to put something on my heart to share. You know, I'm not just gonna come here every single week and just talk about something, you know, and it not necessarily be coming from me, from God. I never want to be that sort of person. So I was like, dang, what do I want to share about? You know, I'm still doing my argument series, like my Fight Right series, but I'm still learning every single day. So I will do the second part of that series once I feel like, okay, this is 100% what God wants me to share, because I did the beginning part of that video, of that series, you know, before the fight. And then I could definitely do after the fight, but I'm still trying to get the points I feel like will really resonate with you guys about during the fight. So I take my channel seriously. I take my content very seriously. And if I'm not in a place to share and talk and kind of like bring my best self, I would just rather not post at all. That is me. That's just how I am. So in all this time of trying to figure out what I want to do in regards to my hormones, and you know, I've tried my best, and like I said, right before quarantine is when I got my results, and I'm like, dang, you know, this has been not helpful at all. Y'all didn't even test me for what I asked for, like kind of like back to square one. I had been listening to a podcast here and there called Fertility Friday, and the girl who does the woman who does the podcast talks a lot about natural birth control and the fertility awareness method. And y'all, I'm sorry if you can hear rain. It just started raining, but you know, I have found through just doing research online that there is an avenue of natural birth control, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is the book that, you know, everyone recommends that you read regarding it, and it's called Taking Charge of Your Fertility, and it's the definite guide to natural birth control, pregnancy, achievement, and reproductive health. What's funny is, like, I had this book in my room and my brother came over the house and he saw it and he was just like, oh, are you trying to get pregnant? Because he just saw the word fertility. I'm like, no, I don't want to get pregnant right now. Like, Corey and I do not want kids right now. Maybe in the next year or two, you know, but if I had a choice, I don't want kids right now. So yeah, it's about natural birth control, like, and it's also about how to achieve pregnancy naturally as well. And like, the book talks about so much different stuff, you know, it does touch on PMS. I believe it talks about PCOS. It talks about just our body, our reproductive function. And, you know, it talks about the fertility awareness method, which is the natural way of birth control that I'm currently learning. I'm not proficient in it. What people recommend regarding the fertility awareness method of birth control is to take a class, you know, meet with an instructor and really learn the method. In short, basically, you can use it as a way of birth control. It's extremely effective if used accurately, like 99-point-something% effective if used accurately. In order to track it, you take your temperature every morning at like the same time, orally take your temperature every morning and observe some of your bodily fluids, okay? I'm not gonna go into detail. But if you are interested in learning more, I will have that book linked below. So that's the route that I'm taking. And, you know, I just met with an instructor for the first time through FaceTime who is proficient in this way of birth control. And she's gonna help, you know, teach me. And it's a legitimate, I don't know, there's a whole world out there that helps people who are very specific to me, who want to naturally not get pregnant and they don't want to be on hormones and things like that. So as a part of charting my cycle, charting, you know, my experience, charting my moods, and kind of like just charting my day-to-day life as it pertains to my reproductive health, I've also told her that I'm trying to work on my PMS. One thing that the woman who I've been working with told me, which I thought was just really mind-blowing, is like, she said that caffeine has a really negative impact on people who struggle with PMS. Like, obviously not everybody, but there is a correlation and research has proven that to be true. So if y'all know me and y'all follow me on Instagram, I love coffee. I have a love and hate relationship with it. But I always want it. I feel like it's just a part of my life. I just love it. It's just a part of my whole experience, you know, like I just really love coffee. And yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it out for at least 2 months really to gauge if my experience on my cycle is better after cutting it out, because it might be one of the main culprits that's making it very challenging for me to, you know, manage my moods and my emotions during that time. It can exacerbate the symptoms, you know. But yeah, that's just kind of like explains where I'm at. I usually drink coffee like every day. This week I had coffee twice. So I'm like weaning myself off. I've been doing matcha instead. I need to see like if matcha has that impact on me, but I do know that whenever I have switched to matcha more in the past, I did see some improvements. But with tracking every single day, you know, in the app that I use, I'll be able to see like my moods. I'm tracking my overall irritability, you know, my caffeine consumption, and within the app that I'm using, which is called Kendara, I'm using it to track my fertility awareness stuff, but I'm also using it to track these other things too. So when I look at the month, I should be able to see my mood. And then if there is a spike in my negative mood, you know, when I'm in that latter part of my cycle, I should be able to say, okay, I really can't have coffee anymore. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. She also said that sugar has a really big impact too. So I'm gonna do coffee first and kind of like wean myself off and do that for like 2 months, which is really hard. But she did say I can do like decaf. So yeah, I might get rid of my Nespresso, y'all. Y'all know I love it, but I really want to be my best self. So if you are watching it and you made it this far through this video, like, I want to encourage y'all to invest in being your best self. Yeah, sometimes you have to cut things out. Sometimes some things are not the best for you. And I love coffee. I love everything about it. It's like my best friend, okay? But it's hurting me. So potentially it's hurting me. So I have to just be willing to just set it aside and kind of like reassess and see where I go from there. So I feel like God is leading me to just have a holistically healthy life. But yeah, so that's why it's very hard for me to commit to posting every single week on a certain day, because certain weeks I really don't have a whole lot of energy and it's a struggle, you know, and I want to bring positivity here on my channel, encouragement, and I really can't do that from a place of like, you know, a deficit. So yeah, I will have the book linked below if you want to learn more about it for yourself. Do not think that I'm pushing this on you guys. Everyone's journey is their own. Do what works for you. But this is just kind of where I am. And yeah, I'm gonna be working on cutting coffee and see how that impacts me and my overall well-being. As far as how I'm doing in quarantine, I'm doing pretty well. One thing I've been focusing on is kind of like getting into my general interest. And one thing that I found that I feel passionate about that I didn't know I was passionate about is baking. And I really enjoyed it. I made red velvet cupcakes from scratch this week. It's my first time making cupcakes or cake or anything like that from scratch. So y'all, it was time consuming, but it was very therapeutic almost. So I will put like some, you know, images here from my Instagram. But yeah, it was fun. I'm just taking things easy, taking things one day at a time, you know, giving myself the grace to kind of like learn myself and just being more patient with myself in the process. It's really thundering. Y'all, it's really thundering. Don't be fooled. I got lights all around me. It is like gloomy out and thundering. But yeah, I want to encourage you guys to invest in yourself. If there's an area where God is putting it on your heart to learn more or to dig a little bit deeper, definitely, you know, consider pursuing that. This fertility awareness method was really something on my heart that I was kind of like putting off, but I'm so glad that I met with the instructor this past week, and you know, I'll be proficient in this whole method of birth control probably within the next like 4 to 6 months, where I can do it like 100%. And yeah, but like I said, I'll have the book links below. But yeah, I just want to encourage y'all to just be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, you know, be willing to get to know yourself, but also be kind to yourself in the process. You know, I cannot push myself beyond what I have, and I have to be willing to know that about myself. You know, everybody is different. Do not compare yourself to the next person, because you never know what they're going through. And don't feel pressure to be something that you're having a hard time being. You know, I want to encourage y'all to run your own race, be your own person. And if you have difficulty in a certain area and so-and-so doesn't, that doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you less of a person. Just continue to be true to yourself and be okay with being different. I have found that struggling with PMS has made me feel kind of embarrassed. It's a little taboo, something that I can't talk about, but I'm sharing this with y'all ultimately because I'm sure I'm not the only one who struggles in this area. And you know, a lot of times doctors are not very caring in this area. You know, it's not to say that they're bad people, but it is what it is. And I've struggled for a really long time in regards to PMS. So yeah, I hope that this helps encourage somebody else who might be struggling in this area too. But yeah, y'all, this is basically it. This is what's been going on in my life, just taking things one day at a time and just being easy on myself. So I want to encourage y'all to do the same. We're all going through something, and you know, we might not always talk about it, but everyone's going through something, you know, whether they discuss it and talk about it or not. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and for just making it all the way through. Definitely be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. Be sure to subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, please do me the favor of subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.